Hey guys, this is a entry into the Blu-ray Hunters contest. I believe he's giving away a steel book and a couple other ultraviolet codes or something. But the main reason I'm doing it is because I thought it was a really cool idea for a contest. The rules were that you were to name 5 TV or TV shows or movies or mixed, whatever, that you think are a really good show or movie that some people are not watching, or you think people aren't watching, or does not get enough credit. And I thought it was a really cool idea. I've got several in my collection that I thought deserved a bit more attention. I've got 4 movies and 1 TV show, and let's just start off with the TV show. Here, let's see. My first one is Mission Hill, the TV show from about 2000. 2001, something like that. It was early 2000s this show came out, and as you can see there is the complete series. I think it barely even had a season. I think this WB, yeah, it was probably on the WB back in 2000, which is now the CW. But I really thought this was a cool show. It's about this guy here in the middle, Andy French, and his brother, and his friends and dog and all that. It's a group of characters living in a house in a makeshift kind of Manhattan or a yuppie area in the cities, and just him living with his little weird brother. And I just thought it was an interesting idea. It's kind of goofy. It's a weird show that kind of goes off the rails a little bit, but I really thought it was a neat idea. It was a cool show. I would have loved to continue watching this show. But it got canceled because I don't think anybody watched it at all. But I did. I enjoyed it. It's got, I believe there are 13 episodes. I don't know if it says that on there. Well, anyway, it's a cool show. I don't think I've seen anybody ever mention it on YouTube, or I don't even know very many people personally that has watched it besides my brother and a couple friends. But yeah, it's a pretty cool show, and I think everybody should check it out. At least check out an episode or 2, if you can. I think this is going for about $20 or so on YouTube. I mean, not YouTube, eBay or Amazon. So I would give it a shot. I thought it was really cool. The next thing is a movie. It's actually on Netflix, I think. Yeah, it is, because I watched it on Netflix over a year ago. But then I ended up buying it because it was about $7 or $8. And that is Troll Hunter. And now on Netflix, you might look at it and think it's one of those cheap, stupid asylum movies, but it's actually a faux documentary about this group of kids and an environmentalist or a hunter of some sort actually hunting trolls, like taken completely seriously. That it's a movie like hunting Bigfoot, except hunting trolls, and there are trolls in the world, and the government's covering up their existence, which is a really cool idea. It takes place and it was filmed in Norway, I believe, or Sweden. I'm pretty sure it's Norway. But it's just a really cool idea for a movie, I thought. And it was really neat to see. The CG was actually pretty cool, too, because you got to see these trolls and the mythology of trolls, and people playing, government officials saying that there's no trolls out there, I don't know what you're talking about. And I just thought it was really cool. And I don't really hear a whole lot about this movie. And I loved it. So I think everyone should check this out. It's really neat. And my next one is, this is also from, well, if I didn't say, Troll Hunter was from 2009, I think, 9 or 10. This next movie is from 1999 or 2000, I believe. I actually saw this in the theater when I was 16. One of the first movies I think I ever went to drive to, and that is Payback. And this is the straight-up edition, the director's cut. This was kind of a flop in the theater. Well, this version wasn't. This is the director's cut. The version that was released, the theatrical version, which I don't even know if they have a release of that, but the theatrical version had a voiceover similar to the original cut of Blade Runner, if you've ever heard about that story. And the storyline's a little bit misshapen, and the ending was completely different. But I enjoyed it when I saw it in the theater, but after a couple years, I actually ended up seeing this version, and this is actually a way better version. It's about this guy who gets he had a bank heist or some sort of a heist with a partner, and his partner screws him over. The partner and his ex-wife screw him over, and he ends up getting shot. But then he ends up recuperating over a couple months and coming back and trying to get his money back. Basically, just a guy trying to get his money back, and just his money. I believe it's his cut is $30,000. He doesn't want $50,000. He doesn't want $100,000. He just wants his $30,000 back. And it's really cool to see Mel Gibson kind of play a bad guy in this, because he's the main character, but he's not a good guy. He's a robber. He's kind of a remorseless killer, and I thought it was a really interesting movie. Also, it's just a movie I don't think I've heard many people talk about on YouTube or anywhere else, but I think you should check this out. It's really cool. This next one is The Illusionist, which is, as you can see, an Academy Award-nominated film from 2011, I think. But it's a really sweet animated film, a French film, that does not have a whole lot of dialogue, but it doesn't need it. It's actually it's just a really sweet and nice film. It's very visually stunning. I would say it's on par, personally, I think it's on par with the Disney quality or the most recent Disney 2D animations. It's about this illusionist or magician in the I think it's the mid to late 40s or mid 50s, something like that. Basically, when the time when rock and roll and other acts are being more prevalent, and people who like magicians are not really popular anymore, and this guy kind of struggles to make a living, and he travels around Europe to make money, and he befriends this young girl and kind of ends up being a father figure to her, and you see their relationship develop and see his career develop over the course of the film. And it was just really cool and sweet film, and I guess I liked it. I actually haven't watched it in a while, but I really, really enjoyed it. I'd seen it a couple years ago, and I've seen it once since. But I don't think a lot of people are aware of it, really. It's a really good film, though. I think you should check it out. It goes for varying prices. I ended up buying this about 8 months ago or so because it was down to about $16. It's usually around $28 to $30, and so I guess I don't know if it's rare, but it's harder to get. But that's a good movie. Everyone should check that out. And my last one is World's Greatest Dad, starring Robin Williams, and written and directed by Bobcat Goldthwait, by the way, which is pretty cool. This movie is a couple years old, but personally, I think it's one of, if not Robin Williams' best performance. It's a dark comedy or black comedy about a struggling author portrayed by Robin Williams and his douchebag little son, and that's him right there. His son is just a little monster. But something happens in the film, and Robin Williams' character kind of tells a little white lie about something, and it kind of escalates interestingly. But like I said, it's a dark comedy, so it's comedic and it's funny, but it's very it's a kind of a goofy little weird movie. But it's one of the best movies. It's definitely one of my favorite comedies of all time. It's like it says here, hilarious, wonderful, bold, twisted. That's probably a good word for it, twisted. I don't know if once again, I don't know if very many people have seen this movie. I've known about it for a few years. I saw it on Netflix a while ago, and then eventually bought it because it was on sale for $12 or something at Best Buy or somewhere. That actually reminds me of the second part of your contest thing. So anyway, let me finish by saying this is a really good movie, and probably of the entire group, this is the one I would recommend the most, because it was just it's Robin Williams playing against type. He's not playing the goofy weirdo character that he usually plays, and it's one of his best performances. That guy's a douche, and this movie is pretty cool. And it's directed by and written and directed by Bobcat Goldthwait from Police Academy, but most of you are probably too young to remember that. Anyway, the final part of his contest was naming the place that you frequent the most to buy Blu-rays, and I would probably say the place I frequent the most would be Amazon. But if we're talking about a store, like a brick and mortar store, it would be Best Buy. Just simply because it's the closest. I have a lot more association with Best Buy. I personally don't like going to Walmart. I will only go to Walmart if there's some sort of an exclusive I want, or if there happens to be a deal, or if I just feel like it, I guess. Target I go to semi-frequently, just for, groceries. And when I'm there, I usually will swing by and see if there's anything I want. And then I don't go to many pawn shops or anything very often unless I happen to stop, But I've rarely ever been to a pawn shop to buy Blu-rays, because whenever I have, they've always had shit titles or just DVDs. Otherwise, there aren't a whole lot of places besides that around me. There's an FYE about 10 miles or so away that I've never been to that I actually plan on going to eventually. Otherwise, yeah, just Best Buy is the main store, just because it's close to my work, and it's just the one I've gone to the most. I've been going to Best Buy for 15 years. As long as I could drive, it was always the store that I would go to. But so yeah, that's my answer for that, Best Buy. I suppose that's it. This is for entry for Blu-ray Hunters contest. It's a really cool idea. Even if I weren't to win or anything, I thought it was really cool to share some movies and TV shows that people might not know about or not be as common on YouTube. So I think people should definitely let everyone know what other shows that they might like or movies that they like that people don't talk about as much, and promote them on here during this contest. It's pretty cool. So that's it. Thanks again, guys, and thanks again, Blu-ray Hunter, for this contest.